I must drink way more coffee than I should. Wow, it looks like he's playing tea with his child. We're going to be checking out Italian breakfast today. Like, I'm not actually going to be eating it, unfortunately. That's actually a bummer. But the next best thing, we have a guide to authentic Italian breakfast by the channel Rosie Mayo. Maio? I don't know exactly how you pronounce that. Sorry about that. But anyways, the links will be in the description section down below for the original video. So you can go over there and hit like just like I did. So, I love food. This is great. Somebody recommended it. I was doing another video and it was the croissants. They called it croissants, which I found out in the comment section. It's not technically croissants. It's something else. Cornetto, I think. It's kind of like a croissant, but they put like cream filling and stuff inside of it. So that sparked my interest in Italian breakfast. I mentioned it. Somebody commented with this video. So here we are and we're about to check it out. So let's do it.
Hello everyone and welcome to a new video which is going to be a guide to authentic Italian breakfast. And Italy is not really renowned for its breakfast, but we don't only have cappuccino and brioche for breakfast. So without further ado, let's begin this video and I hope you'll enjoy. Of course, we're going to start with the most traditional Italian breakfast, cappuccino and brioche. Usually there are two places where Italians go to get a cappuccino and a brioche. First, at a bar, and don't confuse an Italian bar with the American definition of a bar. A bar is an integral part of Italian culture. It's a place where people often start their day with a quick breakfast or...
Okay, so coffee bar. I've heard the term coffee bar. We do have those here. Like I said, they call them coffee bars. And I didn't know cappuccino. I knew it was somewhere from Europe. I didn't know for sure. Honestly, I thought it was like French or something, but I guess cappuccino is Italian. I love cappuccinos.
Where they enjoy a break during the day, socialize with the locals, and just relax in general. They specialize in coffee, pastries, quick meals, and of course, alcohol. And it's
okay, so alcohol, they do not have. Everything else they do have here. They call them coffee shops. They're great. And it's the same thing. You know, you get pastries, bagels, donuts, and usually they're only open until lunch, like the ones around here. So then they'll open up into lunch and then you can get like, you know, they have sandwiches and like just light sandwiches and stuff, and then that's about it.
important to note that bars don't make their own brioches. They are usually either frozen or bought from another company. On the other hand, we have a pasticceria, which translates to pastry shop. Here they specialize in creating and selling a wide variety of pastries, cakes, and desserts. Pasticcerie are known for their artistry and craftsmanship in creating delicious and visually appealing treats. And of course, they make their own fresh brioches every morning. So
yeah, brioche. I'm not. I think I've heard of it, but I don't. It doesn't seem like the context that like what they're showing is the brioche that I've seen or have been familiar with. So it might be something different here in America, or the brioche bread that I've seen was just a poor representation in its simplest form. You know, it looks like these ones are elevated. A lot of them have cream, whatever, you know, with it. If that's even what it's showing in front of me, but. Again, most of the stuff that they've showed in here is just more than just basic, which brioche that I've seen is just like a basic, almost like a croissant or something, but not shaped the same.
naturally, I prefer having my cappuccino and brioche at a pasticceria, even though it's usually a little bit more expensive than a bar. But what are brioches and how are they made?
What? 3 a.m. What?
It's currently 3:15 a.m. and my dad and I are going to one of his friends' pasticceria to see how brioches are made here in Italy.
That early. What? They wake up that early to go make brioche?
Smells so delicious. I think he's already baking them. I hope we're not late and we can see the whole process.
They go to bed at like 5 in the afternoon or something, evening, like when they're awake enough that, so it was 3:20, they drove there, it's probably 4 now, going on 4 by the time they got there, right? Wow.
Salve. This is Francisco. He's been a pastry maker since he was 12 and he is now almost 70. Despite his age, he's also a martial arts teacher on the side, and I find it a funny coincidence that he not only bakes sweets all day, but he's also one of the sweetest old men I've ever had the pleasure to encounter. When we got there, it was about 3:40 a.m. and Francisco was already baking all the brioches since his shift started 40 minutes earlier. This is the last step of the brioche making process. In fact, the brioches that you see had been resting and rising since 7 p.m. the previous day. Now they're nice and fluffy and ready to be baked at 180 Celsius degrees for around 20 minutes. So they'll be fresh and warm when the shop opens in about 3 hours.
It's a lot of work put into that. That tray looked hot. Did you see his face?
After baking, Francisco fills the brioches with a variety of flavors like jam, chocolate, pistachio, and pastry cream. And then he's adding all those final touches that make them look and taste fantastic.
I bet pistachio cream's good. I never had it. Gelatin? Wow. I don't even know what half of this stuff is. I just want to shove it in my face. It's only 5. They've been doing all that. Jeez.
After he's done with all the brioches, he goes on to prepare small pastries, or how we call them in Italy, pasticcini. These can be eaten for breakfast, but are most commonly eaten as after-lunch treats.
Okay. That looks so good. Are those little pies?
I was very grateful for this experience because I don't remember the last time I got up early enough to see the sunrise. At 7 a.m. the barista comes and she will put out all the brioches in the window where the customers will be able to choose their favorites. With the shop bustling and customers satisfied, Francisco turns his attention to tomorrow's batch. This brings us to the first step of brioche making, preparing the dough. The ingredients for the dough include flour, sugar, a bit of salt, egg yolks, yeast, butter, aromas, and not entirely frozen water.
Aroma.
The machine will mix everything for about 30 minutes.
Frozen, almost frozen water, what? Keep it cold, huh? Interesting. I wonder if he ever misses and just splats all over the floor.
Then Francisco portions the dough and places it on this other machine. Here he folds the dough over and over so that the dough creates different layers which will show when the brioche is baked. Okay. And then he starts to flatten it with the help of this machine.
Yeah, hand rolling all that would be terrible. That would
He then
suck.
incorporates blocks of butter for each portion of dough, wrapping the dough all around it.
It's layered with butter. Okay. Flaky layers. That's how you get those layers.
Then he folds it again and keeps stretching it. He does this a few times before he's satisfied with the final result.
Okay.
As he preps each portion, he puts the ones he already made immediately in the shock freezer to stop the rising process. When the dough is nice and stretched, he wraps it around this roller and puts it on the table, where he will fold it in half and cut it depending on which brioche shape he's making.
Wow.
Here he's cutting triangles for cornettos, and here is how cornettos are made.
This is what I saw in those videos, like a croissant, but stuffed, right?
Then he pulls out the other dough he prepped earlier and repeats the process. This time he's cutting stripes for making round brioches.
They're tying them up, huh?
When the whole tray is ready, the brioches are put back in the shop freezer until 7 p.m. At that time, the last employee to leave the shop after closing will take them out of the freezer so that they can start rising, and they will be ready to bake at 3 a.m. when Francesco will start his shift again. Here he cuts square for the brioche shape that we call ferro di cavallo, which is translated to horseshoe in English because it looks like it. And that's it for Francesco's artistry. But what is the difference between a brioche and a croissant?
Yeah.
A brioche is basically a softer, sweeter, more buttery version of a croissant. It is usually never crunchy, like a croissant would be. The most popular fillings for brioches in Italy are apricot jam.
Now, I wouldn't say croissants are crunchy, but again, I've never had an actual French croissant or Italian or wherever they come from. Maybe croissants aren't French. Maybe they're Italian also. I don't know. Anyways, I would consider it more flaky, like a crispity flake, more than a crunch. So it sounds like cornettos are more sweeter, more of a. They took it and took it up a notch in as far as like bringing it into the like a pastry thing.
Pastry cream, chocolate, or just plain. For most adults at breakfast, coffee is a must in Italy, and here are the coffees we order the most for breakfast. First, we have a caffè, which is our go-to coffee, so if you just order a coffee in Italy, this is what you'll get. Next, we have caffè macchiato.
Big cup here. This holds like 18 ounces. It's a big cup. I'll drink 2 of these.
Which means stained coffee because it's a shot of espresso stained with a little bit of milk and milk foam. Next, of course, the most popular choice for breakfast is a cappuccino. Next, we have a macchiatone, and if a caffè macchiato and a cappuccino could have a child, this would be it because it has a little bit more milk than a caffè macchiato but a little less milk than a cappuccino. And last, we have latte macchiato, which is a large cup of warm milk to which is added a shot of espresso. If you have kids or you just want a caffeine-free choice, an interesting variation that most breakfast places offer is a ginseng coffee or a barley coffee that can be used to make cappuccinos as well. As a kid, I would have a barley cappuccino every morning, and to this day, it's one of my favorites. Other popular breakfast drinks are a spremuta, which is freshly squeezed orange juice. Fruit juice is another very beloved Italian breakfast drink, and the most popular ones are pear, peach, apricot, and ace, which is made with orange, lemon, and carrots, and it tastes like heaven. I highly recommend you try it. However, for most Italian families, going out for breakfast every day is not sustainable, and it's usually a treat for the weekend. So what do most Italians have for breakfast at home? When it comes to coffee at home, most Italians use a mocha, which is this dandy little coffee maker, which produces a coffee stronger than drip coffee, but not quite as strong as an espresso.
Okay. I have drip coffee. That's what I use. Just, your regular, the hot water goes through it and everything. But that's a small cup, man. I must drink way more coffee than I should. Wow, it looks like he's playing tea with this child. Like you got the little toy teacup and you're sitting there with your little kid. Wow, that's great. But that's it's like almost like it's just one drink. I'm a big dude. That would be a waste of my time.
Warm milk and cookies are another go-to for many Italians. Some of the most popular cookies we eat include cookies by the brand Mulino Bianco, Pan di Stelle, and Gocciole. In the absence of freshly baked brioches, we usually substitute them with grocery store bought brioches. And the most popular ones are by Kinder, which is an Italian brand, and Italians love anything Kinder, including their delicious brioches, and we have so many variants of them. So let me run you through the most popular ones. Fiesta is made with another layer of chocolate and an...
So is brioche literally just a word that they use for just everything that's like a pastry or like a snack kind of treat, sugary bread substance? Because this looks nothing like what I thought this entire video was about. This looks, almost like a candy bar.
Inside of sponge cake soaked in orange liquor. Next we have Kinder Brioche, which is just made with sponge cake and milk filling on the inside. And there's only one acceptable way to open these brioches, which is this. Yeah, if you're Italian, you will know. Next is Kinder Delice with another layer of chocolate and
Looks
an
good.
inside of chocolate sponge cake and milk filling. Kinder Pinguì is my current favorite, and it's a chocolate bar with fresh milk cream filling. Kinder Fetta al Latte is another one of my go-to for breakfast, made with a chocolate sponge cake on the outside and fresh milk cream on the inside. Kinder Paradiso is made with vanilla, sponge cake, and lemon milk cream filling. And then there are so many other brands and types, but the ones I just listed are the best ones in my opinion. Another popular choice for breakfast.
So it's not just in America where they show you that you got all this cream. Like, look at the ratio of cream filling to bread pastry. It's so stuffed. She opens it up, there's barely a little stain in the middle of it.
The ones I just listed are the best ones in my opinion.
Look at that sad little.
The ones I just listed are the best ones in my opinion.
Look at that sad little. Yeah, that happens here too. It's disappointing.
Another popular choice for breakfast is fette biscottate, which translates to toasted slices in English, and it's basically twice baked, dry and crispy bread. If you eat them on their own, they don't really taste like anything, even though I still love them on their own. But if you pair them with butter, jam, honey, or other spreads, the magic happens. Usually I would pair these with tea, and my favorite thing to do is to soak them in the tea so that they get soft and then eat them. Another popular and delicious breakfast tradition here in Italy is bread and Nutella. And
Nutella is not the same in the United States as it is in Europe, guys. I did a taste test video. I had European Nutella from, I don't remember what country. And I think it was from Germany, Belgium maybe, can't remember. And I had, you know, the United States Nutella. Different, absolutely different.
For some reason, bread and Nutella are advertised as healthy almost and energetic.
They're not healthy, but also what I was going to say, Nutella, they're both good. Slightly different, both good. Depending on whatever country you're in, whatever, Nutella is never a bad choice.
Way to start your morning by the Italian media. And here's some examples of advertisements that we get.
Mi chiamo Claudio Silvestri e sono il cuoco della nazionale di calcio. Una gran bella responsabilità. E io devo scegliere per loro l'alimentazione più completa, giusta ed equilibrata. Al mattino non ho dubbi. Frutta, latte, pane e Nutella. E poi vedi come corrono a fare colazione.
That was straight up just like an ad for... Was that a government video? That was an ad for Nutella. That was 100% biased.
Nei momenti più duri e impegnativi, quando è indispensabile la massima concentrazione, bisogna essere in piena forma. Per questo, fin dal mattino, è importante alimentarsi bene. Nutella è con te, con tutta l'energia del latte e delle nocciole.
I mean, it is good
Con
stuff.
tutta la sua bontà. Pane e Nutella. Energia per fare e per pensare.
It's good stuff.
I don't know about that.
I legit have Nutella in the kitchen. I'm getting hungry after this video. I may go make me some Nutella. Just saying.
But it definitely makes my morning happier. And of course, many people here enjoy milk and cereal as well. So this is it for today's video. I hope you...
So that's interesting because that's way different than an American breakfast, which of course there's people that eat, we call them Little Debbie snacks because there's a brand called Little Debbie that makes a bunch of snacks like that, you know, pre-packaged crap like that. It tastes good, not nutrition. A lot of people eat that, coffee, whatever, but a lot of people also around here eat biscuits and gravy, scrambled eggs, fried bacon, that sort of thing. So not too far off, I guess. I just figured that there'd be some sausage or some eggs or something involved. It was literally just like snack food. Surprising me. Very surprising to me. You guys have a super fun, awesome day. Hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. Bye.